You girly man, you're worse than my wife. You don't need all that fruity, frilly stuff that you're putting in your beard. I'm gonna throw in really bad grammar to really prove my manlyhood and my point. And the Vikings, they had the best beards of all time. They didn't need any of that stuff. Come on, man. This channel's garbage. Those would be some examples of some common negative comments that I get, that people call me feminine. They say I don't need this stuff, and that if I was a real man, I would live like a Viking. So the historian in me, the actual history teacher, said, I need to look into this. I really need to research what was going on, not only with the Vikings, but with previous civilizations and beards. And I found some really, really interesting information. So if you like beards, you like a little bit of history, stick around for some cool content. To begin, the Vikings are a group of men that are often synonymous and brought up first with beards, because when we see pictures or videos depicted of them, they have big, burly beards, flyaways, tangles, it's braided, oftentimes it's a rustic red, and I wanted to really check into that more. And first off, the term Viking is not actually a good term. Back then, they were not referred to as Vikings. They did not call themselves Viking. To Viking was actually a verb. It meant to have a piracy or to pillage, and it was an action, and it was given to a group of many different people that had Scandinavian descents. So we should be talking about the Scandinavians, and they had a whole different tribes, and we could go into a whole history on that. But they're thought of as being the manliest beards of all time. And as I did some more research and looked into that, it's not actually true. The Vikings really cared about their beards. They made combs that were fashioned out of ivory, right? I love my oxhorn combs. This comes from the horn of an ox. They used horns of elephants to make almost the exact same comb. They also used oils in their beard. They also used oils on their skin. They also used wax in their beard and in their hair. So the pictures that are depicted are often exaggerations, right? People want you to remember the Vikings as raping and pillaging, as ruthless. Well, that wasn't fully true there. So when someone tells me, hey, did the Vikings do it better? No, they pretty darn well did the same. And even looking back in time, using that excuse, well, so they didn't do this back 100 years ago and they lived fine, that's a pretty terrible excuse. As time goes on, we've found innovation. We've gotten ways that have been better, right? I have celiac disease, and I've had people say to me, hey man, people ate gluten and wheat 1,000 years ago, didn't hurt them. Yeah, check the average lifespan back then. Not as good as now. Why? Because we figure stuff out. So using that excuse and comparing it to the old times, that's such a terrible and narrow-minded way to think about things. But I also want to say, okay, that's the Vikings. What about the rest of the world? Did they take care of their beards? Yes. The Aborigines in Australia and New Zealand used emu oil for thousands of years. Tens of thousands of years. Tribes in southern Africa used baobab oil. Tribes in northern Africa used Moroccan or argan oil. Tribes in the Americas used avocado oil. So this is something that is well documented, well used throughout history and throughout the world. So next time somebody criticizes you and says something about you not being manly, people used to not use all this fruity, gruely, I don't even know what words I'm using there, stuff back in the day, you can counter with, yes, they did. Do your research. Send them this video. Doesn't matter who it was, there's likely documentation that they were taking care of their beards with combs, with oils, and with just overall good grooming habits. That's amazing. That's really cool to go look back on and see that information throughout history. So question to leave you guys with, I want to know some of the best negative comments you've gotten about your beard. This channel's all about staying positive, right? I genuinely mean that, but sometimes it's funny. Sometimes it's great to acknowledge that. Somebody will leave that comment, you girly, and then his avatar name or screen name is man that drinks beer without fruit 87. Like, Oh, you got me, man. You beat me on the manliness there. And it's just funny to read those things. And another funny thing that came up when I was filming this video is, do you guys ever have a word that when you say it too many times, it doesn't seem like a real word anymore? Well, for me, Viking was that. When I was filming this video, I literally had to go, all right, Minnesota Vikings, to be able to say the word properly. So if you have any weird words like that where you say it so many times it doesn't seem real, drop that in the comment. I think these comments are going to be unbelievably entertaining. I might have to go through and make a video sometime of reading the nastiest, most hateful comments and kind of laughing about it. Some celebrities do that, and I enjoy watching those. So to finalize, guys, did Vikings do it better? No, they did it just about the same, and that is awesome. My name is DanCBearded, guys. Stay bearded and stay positive.